If you've ever looked at your bank account and felt the pang of anxiety in your stomach, this video is for you. Today, I want to talk about the 7 money habits that are keeping you poor. The first habit that I see a lot of is sacrificing tomorrow for today. This is a habit that people have in a lot of different areas of their life. It just happens to come out in money. Stealing money from future you to give it to present you. That's what you're doing over and over again, and it creates people living in this cycle of typically paycheck to paycheck because they're constantly spending money from their future self. I had a woman in one of my companies. She had a terrible habit of buying bags, and she had more designer bags than myself and not as much money as me. Whether she got a raise, she got more commissions, no matter what happened, it didn't translate into her saving more money. She actually just bought more bags. That's how the brain works. You're just gonna find more things to spend the money on. And so the way you break this is by mastering impulse control, okay? We're always gonna have 2 sides to our brain. There's the logic side, and then there is the emotional driven impulse side. And a lot of people that have bad money habits just have bad impulse control. Just like if you wanted to lose weight, you have to tolerate being hungry, tolerate not spending as much money, not getting the thing you want, not acting upon desire. Desire does not equate to decision. Just because you want something doesn't mean you should do anything about it. That is the animalistic part of your brain that has no logical conditioning whatsoever. You need to take massive action against it to completely change your behavior. Now, the second bad habit that I see with money is avoiding measuring money. Checking your bank account makes you feel anxious, so you avoid it. You know where else this is really relevant? The scale. People don't want to weigh themselves because they don't want to see how much they weigh because it's embarrassing. It makes them feel bad. There's so much self-judgment that comes with it. Every time we avoid something, we train our brains that it's not safe. And because it's not safe, the brain labels it as not safe and wants you to avoid it more and more and more and more until it becomes something that creates a dysfunction in your life. When I moved to California and I only had, I don't know, it was $5,000 or $7,000 saved in my bank account, I would avoid looking at my bank account because I didn't want to know how much I was spending because I was honestly just nervous that I wasn't going to be able to make ends meet. Whatever we avoid expands, whatever we confront diminishes. And so if you want to feel less anxiety about having not a lot of money, look at how much money you don't have. I'm gonna download Mint, and I'm gonna really track how much I'm spending. I need to teach myself it's okay, and I'm gonna figure it out no matter what. The third money habit is ignoring debt. People, they get paid a bunch of money, and they're like, I think I'm gonna go buy a house. And I'm like, Susie, I thought you told me you had like $20,000 in credit card debt. She's like, oh yeah, well, you know, those payments are over like 2 years. And so she always constantly is ignoring the fact that she still has debt. People count it as a positive. They're like, well, I just got paid $20,000. I'm like, no, you just got paid 0 because you owe 20,000. Now you've got 20,000. Now you're at 0. But people don't look at it that way. What people want to do is pretend like now they've got all this money and they're avoiding paying off their debt because it makes them uncomfortable, it makes them feel like they have less money than you do. You do have less money than you think you do because you got this fucking debt over here that you're ignoring. The best thing you can do is create a personal balance sheet. If you were a company that had debt and you got paid more money, you wouldn't be worth more. What are your negatives? Where are you liable? And what are your positives? And then you should look at that every time you get paid, and you should learn to allocate a certain amount of your income to then pay down those liabilities. They're just gonna grow, they're gonna make more money off your interest, and this is a personal preference. I don't want that shit on my mind. People who have a lot of money and make a lot of money don't keep debt unless it's used as a tool. The fourth habit of people who aren't where they want to be financially is that they don't spend money to save time or promote growth. The 2 advantages of money that I see is that I can use money to buy time and to buy experience that I don't yet have. So when I'm hiring somebody who might be $700,000 a year, I'm buying experience that I don't have time to go get. Now, people who don't have a lot of money think differently. They think, how can I go get that experience so I don't need to spend this money? And that's a fundamental shift that has to change. Money is a tool to accumulate education, experience, time, resources that cannot be replenished while money can. Well, Layla, that's easy to say, you have a lot of money. It doesn't start that way. When I had no money, I took the first paycheck I had and I bought a $4,000 course. I could get more money later if I had more experience in education, but I can't get back time. Commit a certain percentage of your income to buying back time or buying back education or experience. The 5th money habit that I see is spending before they save. This one has a very simple solution, which is you can put automatic transfers in your account. You save a certain amount each month, 20 or 30% of your income. The day after you get your paycheck, you have an automatic transfer that transfers that amount to your savings account. That's your oh shit money. This isn't just like, oh, save up money so you can buy a house one day or some bullshit. This is so you can have peace of mind so you can make good financial decisions going forward. The 6th money habit is trying to look rich when you're not rich. This is rampant on social media. People that I know that make jack shit have Lamborghinis and mansions and places they take pictures in front of because they're trying to show off all this money that they don't have because they rented that fucking Lamborghini that's not their house, that's their uncle's house, and that's not even his fucking girlfriend. I know that doesn't have to do with money, but probably not. People are more concerned with looking rich than actually being rich. I hate the fact that so many people put out this front, and then what is behind the wall is not actually that much money. I actually had somebody that I knew that had this to such an extreme, I think had less than $10,000 in his account and wouldn't sell his Bentley. The only way to go all in on this is to completely own the fact that you are fearful of judgment of others. It is okay to be afraid, but you don't need to act in accordance with the fear. I have fear of judgment. I don't act upon it. You can act despite that fear because courage doesn't even exist without fear. The next time that you consider buying something that you can't afford to look like someone that you're not, reconsider and ask yourself, is that going to get me closer or further from the person I want to be? Probably further. And the seventh money habit is being comfortable with making what you are. They make $200,000, $300,000 a year. They're making good money, but then they become comfortable. Most of the people that they surround themselves with are the same way. They're okay staying complacent. They're okay making the same amount of money. They're not trying to strive for more. You might actually make more than most of them, and so it makes you feel good and like there's nothing more to strive for. So I myself have been in this situation many times over and over, and what I've done is I've put myself around people who make way more fucking money than me, so then I feel like shit. I know that sounds crazy, but I want to feel like I have less money than everyone else because I want to see what are their desires? How do they think? I know people that have so much money that they can build cities. Getting around people that think like that is inspiring. And so maybe it's not the drive of being able to buy a Lamborghini or a house that's going to keep motivating you, but maybe it's the impact you can have on the world if you have a certain amount of money.